Alright, after Neverland, we proceed back to Traverse Town, where we can go ahead and now finish off Opposite Armor, even though we unlocked it much earlier in the game. I'm actually going to load this one at right about where you get Dumbo, purely because there's some movement I want to show off, as well as the fight right before Opposite Armor. So quickly going to get Dumbo as if this were a real run. Now, this movement is a little bit particular along the way, so that's why I'm showing this off. I do one dodge roll to the left, and then immediately jump and start gliding. This is the fastest movement out of here. Oh, you don't want to land in the water like that. You want to land just past the water. 3 dodge rolls to get here, and then I'm going to do 2 dodge rolls up this ramp, take a step, and then jump and glide over the wall. So 1, 2, take a step, jump and glide, and oh, I might have messed it up. Yeah, I messed it up, but let's see. Basically, jump and glide. You can't actually glide when you're above that wall, which is what just happened the last 2 times. So you have to be a little bit careful about not locking up your glide input. But that movement is a little bit faster than going around the wall. Now, as we make our way to Opposite Armor, you want to make sure not to spawn too many enemies near where the rooftop enemies will spawn. So I want to get right up to here, and I glide around that corner so as not to spawn any enemies that you would spawn if you landed down there. Spawning those enemies can delay some of the spawns of the Nocturnes, Requiems, and Operas that spawn up here, so you don't want that to happen. So now I like to line myself up. The enemies will spawn in 2 rows like this, 2 columns. And I like to line myself up with the right column, kind of facing it. And then I lock onto the first one and use Ars Arcanum. Now I'm actually going to mash both R1 and triangle to switch my lock on constantly and keep my Arcanum going. So let's do that. And there we go, that took care of all of them. Donald actually used a blizzard that got rid of some of them, which was really nice. And is very rare, but very nice. Then we just ring the bell 3 times. Now, after we ring the bell, you can actually start moving before the scene completely loads after you skip this cutscene. So I'll be showing that real quick. Ring the bell for the 3rd time, and we skip this cutscene, and then I'm already moving. See, you can see Sora was already moving. You can notice I've got an ether in my inventory. Actually, I have 3, but normally you'll only have 1. I'm going to use that ether immediately after knocking down the guard armor phase of the fight. To knock down guard armor quickly, you just have to kill one of his pieces. His hands have the least amount of health, and you spawn just a little bit closer to guard armor's left hand. So I'm going to target onto that one and try to break it for an instant knockdown. And there we go. And then I immediately throw my ether to fill my empty bar. Now, at the beginning of this next fight, after I skip the cutscene, I'm going to hit R1 to lock on to Opposite Armor's lower right leg, which used to be his hand. And then I'm going to guard his first attack and use R's to break that foot completely. I'm then going to hope that he uses the move where he throws his parts at me again, so that way I can guard them again and use an R's on the other foot, which is why we threw the ether earlier. So let's see if we can get that to happen. So use 1 R's to break that piece. I'm going to get a little bit of damage off on these hands while I'm waiting to see what he does. And yeah, he gave me good RNG, so he used that move again. So now I can try to break these other pieces. He's going to go into a cannon formation, which is not ideal because he actually runs away pretty quick in the cannon formation. Yeah, see, you can see he's evading me quite well. But once you break the other pieces, the fight's basically over. So that's all there is to it with opposite armor. It's a pretty RNG dependent fight because he might not lunge himself at you again. And if he doesn't use a move that you can guard, it means that he's probably just going to break apart. And guard armor can just keep constantly flying away from you. So definitely takes a lot of practice to be able to react to all of his attacks. But that is the basic strategy right there.